Hello everyone. My name is Emily. Welcome back to the channel. I am so excited to start this vlog with you guys. This is the reading Francine Rivers for the first time, and we have two books to showcase in this vlog. The first one is Bridge to Haven by Francine Rivers, obviously. And both of these, I'm just following Oshina's year-long challenge. So these are just January and February's books, which I'm really excited about. And then the next one is The Lady's Mine. So I am 22%, I think, according to my Libby, percent done with this. I am really liking it so far. I have issues with what happens with the 5-year-old girl and how she's treated by some of the families. That bothered me a little bit, not gonna lie. But we are into when our main character, Abra, she is in high school, and so she and her sister right now are fighting over a boy. And I think I know where it's going. I know nothing about either of these books. I'm truly going in blind. So you guys will see reactions and different things like that. I will try my hardest to not do spoilers. And then maybe do like a spoiler section at the end, or I don't know how I'm going to do this. So you're on this adventure with me. But I have predictions on what's going to happen because the boy that she and her sister are fighting over right now is not the best, and I want to smack him. And I think I have an idea of what's going to happen and how sort of their character arcs are going to play out. So we shall see if I can predict correctly. But I'm really liking this so far. I'll just keep listening to it and keep updating you guys. See you in the next clip. Bye. Hello everyone. I am just finishing up work, and so I just wanted to take a very quick second and talk to you about some of the updates I have on Bridge over Haven before I get going further into the book, because now I'm invested and I want to finish it. I am intrigued by it, that's for sure. So the last couple days I have read from about 30% to I think 55%. So I've read quite a bit over the last few days, just listening to it in the car. And I have been through an emotional roller coaster. At first, I was really mad at what happened to our main girl character, Abra. I can't remember her name right now. Anyway, especially when she's 5 years old, and just sort of the hurt and the betrayal that she feels at such a tender age, that completely broke my heart and made me mad at all the adults involved. And then I want to smack Dylan. Oh my goodness. I'm driving and I'm going through all those chapters where Dylan is in her life. And I'm like, don't you do it. Don't you do it. You make better decisions. Don't you do it. Oh my goodness. I just wanted, that is such a frustrating situation. And I understand why she did it. I've had friends in similar situations, and it's heartbreaking. It's a lot to go through, and to know that they are fictional characters is one thing, but knowing people in that situation, you're like, oh my goodness, this reminds me of this person, and this situation reminds me of this situation. And I love that in books, of how you can relate it to your life, whether or not you've personally gone through it, because I personally have not gone through anything that our main character has gone through, but like I said, I've had really good close friends who have confided in me. They've had situations like that, and it's heart-wrenching. I'm at the point now where Abra is in Hollywood, and Franklin is in her life. And I'm loving how I'm hoping that I see the trajectory of her character arc, and that in the end she'll realize, you know, it's not about what other people think about you, it's what God thinks about you and what you believe in yourself and sort of your own self-worth. And that's hard for people. I work with a lot of teenagers, and I just watch them and I'm like, you are children of God and you are beautiful and he loves you. Stop making dumb choices. Or yay, you're making great choices. It just depends on the situation. But, you know, I am so invested in this story and I'm loving it. It's so funny. I was watching Oshina's wrap up maybe last night or something, and I love her conviction and I love her enthusiasm for this book, and I'm just so grateful for this reading challenge, because she said something on the lines of how she loves emotional books and feeling that emotion. I started giggling to myself because I am so not that way. I have enough emotions in real life. I use books to escape, and I like light and fluffy and happy, and maybe that just says something about me. And so I am so grateful for her, for Oshina, and her willingness to put this reading year-long adventure together, because it's pushed me out of my reading comfort zone for sure. I can guarantee you that if I wasn't reading this for A, this vlog, and then B, to be a part of this reading challenge or whatever you want to call it, I would have stopped reading this book a couple chapters ago during the Dylan part, because like I said, I wanted to smack him, I wanted to smack her, I wanted to smack all people involved during that portion of it. But I am loving what I'm reading now. I'm completely invested. I want to wrap this sort of update up so that I can continue reading, because I want to see the redemption at the end, and I'm really hoping it comes, because if not, I'll be like gypped. But I love how the adults in our main girl's life from her hometown are like, we loved her, we did everything we possibly could. And as an adult now who worked with kids, I could relate a lot to that as well. Anyway, I am invested. I want to know how this ends. I think I have an idea. I think somehow Abra will go back to Haven. Hopefully she ends up with who I want her to end up with. And that situation of their original relationship is a little bit iffy. Anyway, there's just a lot of things that I'm like, interesting. This book is just way outside my comfort zone. But that's the beauty of reading, is that your mind gets exposed to different things. And when it's things that are good and beautiful and uplifting, I'm hoping they're uplifting at the end, it's a good time. And I am just loving this. I'm really, really excited to continue. So I will update you again when I get a little bit further into the book. Bye. Okay, you guys, so it is later, the same day that I did the other clip in my car, and I have been listening to Bridge Over Haven all day, and I have a very quick update. So I just got to the point and I saw the writing on the wall, and the whole time I'm listening to it, I'm like, no, don't do it. Don't you dare do it. And then she does it. She goes to the doctor and that whole thing, our main female character. And I knew it was going to happen. I was like, why? No. Oh, I hate that. Oh, I was livid, and there was a pit in my stomach reading it, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is absolutely horrible. But I am loving that now our character, She is finally standing up for herself. And the whole time I've been listening to this book, I think I'm 70% now, I'm like, why aren't you standing up for yourself? Why are you just letting people lead you and tell you what to do and tell you what to say and how to, bend and dress and do your hair and your makeup and everything? Why aren't you standing up for yourself? And she's finally doing it, and it's just making me so happy. And I'm thinking there's a shift because now some people from her past are hopefully going to come into her life, and hopefully it's a change. And I hope that it's a change that I want. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, I'm still loving this. All I want to do is finish it now. I think I have about 5 hours left on the audiobook, but I listen at 2 speeds, so that's like 2.5 hours. Am I doing that math right? I think so. And so I should finish here in the next couple days, so I'll keep doing these little clips on my thoughts as I read through it. Talk to you soon. Bye. Okay, you guys, I have updates on my Francinerivers reading. So I finished Bridge to Haven a while ago. Whoops. And I have thoughts. So not gonna lie, this was probably one that if I was reading it without a purpose behind it, I would have stopped. So with that in mind, I loved the character of Joshua. He was probably my favorite character out of the bunch. It's hard when you read a book and from the get-go, you have an idea of everything that's going to happen. Not saying that that's a bad thing, because it's not. Sometimes it's fun, especially in a mystery series where you're like, oh, I think that person's the killer. And then that person ends up being the bad guy. That's exciting for me because I feel smart. But with this one, I had an idea of the trajectory the entire time. And I was right. Which doesn't happen very often to me. So reading a pretty chunker of a book and knowing exactly what's going to happen before you get there is a little anticlimactic. Anticlimactic. Words. Anyway, I was not a fan of Franklin and Abra's visit to the doctor about 3/4 of the way in. That gave me a little bit of a tummy ache. And like I said, if I wasn't reading this for a purpose, I would have stopped. But I loved the ending. And I will say that there were 2 different sections where I was completely thrown off guard. So I'm going to act them out for you. I'm driving, and one of them is what happens to Franklin. And so I'm driving and I'm listening to it and la, 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 la. Then the thing happens to Franklin and I'm like, no, what? Exactly what happened. That was a shock to me. I did not see that coming at all. I was actually intrigued on how that was going to be wrapped up, and that was not the ending I was expecting at all. And then the truth bomb in the last chapter, that was so out of left field. Again, I'm driving. The truth bomb lands, hits me. I'm like, no, what? I did the exact same thing twice. Kind of funny. And so I loved those unexpected little moments because the majority of this book, like I said, I knew exactly what was going to happen. Anyway, I'm grateful that this harder one, with all of the trauma and all of the hard things, came here before this one. Because I love this one. I read this in 2 days. I could not put it down. This was brilliant. Breathtakingly fantastic. If you've never read a Francine Rivers, I would highly recommend this one because it's fabulous. If I was typing this, all of that would be in capital letters and like underlined. Love this story. I think what was bugging me in this one was that Abra was so passive. She was just letting people decide her future rather than taking control of it. No, not in this one. Our main girl, do I remember her name? No. Catherine. Catherine is spunky and feisty, and I want to marry Matthias. Yeah, I wish he was a real character because I loved Matthias. The main male characters in this one, not so much. He was studly and took control of the situation without being overbearing to Catherine, and I just loved how she handled situations. I had no idea going into this book what it was about, other than it was old-timey Western mines, and I love that. Those are some of my favorite things. It's very similar to When Calls the Heart, if you've ever seen that Hallmark series. Very similar-ish. And so Catherine goes to this mining town. She's one of the only females, so she gets a lot of male attention, which I love because that is so not my life, and I kind of wish it was. Anyway, side note. And I loved how there wasn't as much hard things like in Bridge to Haven. I loved how she stood up for herself and she was smart about things and that she just gathered friends. I was so nervous when, oh shoot, what was the first mayor? I can't remember his name. I want to say Franklin, but that's this character. The main Henry, is that his name? Oh, booger, that's gonna start bugging me. And it's not here. Anyway, he was the first mayor, and he's a bad guy. And everyone knows it. Everyone tells her. But she, keeps her distance and everything. And this first mayor really likes Catherine and wants her to be his wife. And there was a situation where she gets bamboozled a little bit by him. And the whole time I'm reading it, I'm like, no, don't you do it. Don't you do it. This is going to be bad. This is going to be bad. Oh no, we're going back to stuff that happened in here. No. My heart was racing. I didn't do a workout that day, but I got it when I was reading that chapter. Oh my goodness, I was sweating. I was like, no, we're not going down that road. I don't want that to happen to her. I don't want anything bad to happen to Catherine. No. Nothing does. Everything is fine. It was handled perfectly. I loved the relationship. I loved, like I said, her spunkiness and that she takes control of her own life after her parents kind of do her wrong. And I love the suffragette stuff in here. That is always a fascinating topic for me. As someone who benefited from that, I appreciate learning about that history. I loved the Molly Maguire references. If you haven't seen the nonfiction I read in 2025, I read a nonfiction about the Molly Maguires and sort of the Pinkerton agent who inserted himself into that gang of miners. And it's very reminiscent of that, and I loved that nonfiction. I can have it linked below for you if I remember. And so just everything about this book was fabulous. I am confident to say that this will be my favorite book of February. I love it. It was wonderful. I am so grateful for Oshina for putting this together and helping me read outside my comfort zone, because honestly, if I would have read this one, I would have stopped it and have never even picked this one up. And what a shame that would be, because I love it. It's so wonderful. And I was telling my mom, I'm like, Mom, I just finished the best book. And then a couple minutes later in our conversation, I said, did I just tell you that I finished the best book ever? And she's like, yes, Emily, you told me. What is it about? She does her obligatory mom, tell me about your book, crazy lady. And I just was like, it's this. Okay, seriously, I love it. And I am so excited because I just saw on YouTube that she posted her, Oshina posted her live discussion. So I'm excited to participate in that. I love this so much. Okay, calm down, Emily. You're nerding out. Anyway, if I had to rate them, I wonder how I would. It would definitely be The Lady's Mine and then Bridge to Haven. So we'll see what else comes up from reading Francine Rivers. I'm really hoping that all the rest of them aren't hard like this one. If they were more like this, I'd be so happy, but I have a feeling they lean more towards this than this, which I'm okay with because it's just part of the process of reading this new author. And I am excited to investigate her reading more because these were such on opposite ends of the spectrum for me. So I'm excited to continue reading Francine Rivers, and I'm really, really excited. So yes, thank you for watching this video. Please like, subscribe, all of that fun little YouTube stuff. I'd love to talk in the comments below, and I will see you guys on Oshina's Live in March, on March 7th. Bye.